welcome to Bullshit Free Reviews. We'll be reviewing Synergy Spanish, which is, as obvious from the title, a Spanish learning product. Before I begin, I want to be completely transparent and point this out to you right now. If you purchase this product from the link I give you, I will make a commission off of your purchase. In return for this potential commission I may receive, I want you to hold me to the highest standard possible in creating honest, high-quality reviews that are devoid of the BS you see in many review sites out there. If after watching this video you're not sure if this product is right for you, or if you're skeptical about anything I say, which you should be, please don't hesitate to ask me questions in the comments section below. You should always do your own research before buying a product, but if I helped you make the right choice, I would appreciate if you purchase Synergy Spanish through the link I give you in order to help me in making future reviews possible. Okay, so a little motivation as to why I'm creating this review or reviews in general. I often look up a product and I want to see if it's good or not, so I go to Google and I look up the product name and I add the text review or scam. And after that, Google gives me back a bunch of mass manufactured review sites. And these review sites are often very generic. Their descriptions are filled with fluff that don't really say anything. And in the case of Synergy Spanish, a lot of these review sites push you towards purchasing Rocket Spanish instead. And the reason they do that is because Rocket Spanish is a really effective marketing strategy and they have a really high conversion rate. So they think that they would be more likely to make money off of you if they advertise you Rocket Spanish instead of Synergy Spanish. And I think this is nonsense because although Rocket Spanish isn't the worst program out there, it's a very old-fashioned program, and if you're familiar with most standard language learning programs, they're not that much effective. Let me go to Google and let me show you. So I got Synergy Spanish review out here already. So let me just click on this link. And you look at it, let me just go down here. They encourage you to buy Rocket Spanish instead. Now, a lot of this text I completely disagree with. But if you only want to learn a few Spanish words, then you might enjoy this course. Now, this has completely the wrong premise. No one goes to a course wanting to only learn a few Spanish words. The thing is, so that goes to my next point. Like, a lot of these review sites try to emphasize quantity instead of quality. And I think this is nonsense, because if you want quantity, then there's a dictionary for you that has lots of words, and there's a grammar book that will tell you all the rules of the language. Now, one thing that shows that quantity doesn't necessarily help is that in school you're often given a lot of vocabulary lists, and that's a lot of words that they give you, but are you learning it in the end? Do you remember any of those words? So it's quality that matters. A whole list of vocabulary words isn't going to help me if I'm not going to remember any of it in the end. So in the future, I'll be making a video on what free language learning materials you can use too, but here are some good resources for supplements if you want a good amount of quantity when it comes to learning Spanish. Now the next point. So Synergy Spanish is primarily an audio course. It does, however, include some written exercises. There's 25 lessons. They're between 12 to 45 minutes long. Let me show you the written exercises first. Okay, so I opened up a PDF of this audio. So here's some written exercises, and I'm going to get to these points later, but if you see a lot of these exercises, they revolve around the same point. There's a lot of I want to. They all start with I. Most of them start with I, and it's I can, I have, I can't. And if you notice that they tend to be repetitive, but the thing is, they're teaching you the important words. The words I have to, I am going to, those are things that you say in everyday life. But the other thing is, though, it never feels repetitive because they vary it enough that all these sentences here, they're all very natural. So you're going to get a lot of benefit from doing these written exercises if the audio exercises aren't enough. And for me, the audio exercises are definitely enough for me to learn pretty effective Spanish. So this is like a safety net. In case the audio resources aren't enough, then the written exercises are a huge plus. So it's a very nice touch for them to include in the program. So as I said, so the main philosophy, what distinguishes Synergy Spanish from other courses, is that he targets just 138 words. Now it's not exactly words. Some of them are word phrases because he counts in the morning as a word, or I would like as a word. But I mean, that doesn't matter because word phrases are what's more important than words. The thing is, he separates them into 3 categories: synergy verbs, break verbs, mortar words. And the thing is, you learn these words, but you're able to string them together by just basically putting them together. So if I start somewhere here in the left column, I say I need, and then pick something here. I need to go early because I would like to see, say, my friends soon. So you see that it's language is all about putting together word phrases, and Synergy Spanish does a really effective job in picking the phrases that are very important. And this is a large divergence from other courses that you will encounter. Now I'll give you some audio examples. Alright, so let's start with the first lesson.
Your first synergy verb is I want.
Quiero,
Say I want.
quiero,
And now let's add the brick verb to go.
ir,
Say to go.
ir,
Say I want to go.
quiero ir,
Let me skip ahead to the fifth lesson to give you an idea how it ramps up.
Say tonight.
esta noche,
Say I cannot, and put that all together. Tonight I cannot go to the party. I have to study.
Do you notice how long that phrase is? Well, even up to lesson 5, you will be able to construct phrases that are actually this long and natural. So this is a huge plus in the program, and I don't think you often see this in many other language learning programs. So after the audio samples, it's not too difficult to see what's unique about this course. First off, it does not start with stupid pleasantries, so no how are you, hello, bye-bye, thank you. I'm not saying these aren't important, but too many language courses, I mean the grand majority of language courses just shove them in the beginning, and it makes it very predictable, and it numbs at least my brain from being able to effectively pick up material. Instead, it dives you straight into the important stuff, the stuff that you would say in everyday life in the midst of a conversation with a friend. And the second point is the focus is entirely on drill and recall, so they'll present you words and then they'll ask you how do you say this, how do you say this, and through that exposure you'll be able to drill a lot of very fluent phrases into your head. So the focus is not on pre-constructed dialogues, though there are some quasi-interactive dialogues later on in the course, but it's not the focus, and there's no vocabulary lists, so nothing shoved at you that you have to remember by brute force. The focus isn't on nouns, which is not a very practical part of language learning. In fact, the focus is mainly on verbs and what he calls mortar words, and these are very common words or phrases that you will definitely use in everyday life. So this person who created this course definitely knows how to prioritize what words and phrases to learn. Next point is there's very little grammar presented. I mean, you might have a brief note on gender exists. To form a plural, you basically add a freaking s, just like in English. The verb forms they're not even taught as grammar, so it doesn't feel like grammar. I think the only grammar point I remember from the course is the personal A in Spanish, and it's not that difficult. So you're free from any painful grammar explanations that you tend to experience in modern language courses in the classroom. Now some similar courses, Pimsleur, Michelle Thomas, Paul Noble, Learning Spanish Like Crazy. They're all audio courses. I'll make a review on each of them later. But basically, Pimsleur, it focuses a lot on torus vocabulary, so I don't really like it, but it's effective. Michelle Thomas and Paul Noble, they're good programs that explain things well, but I think they spread themselves a bit too thin in order to really get a super fluent level, but they're still very effective. Learning Spanish Like Crazy, it's similar to Synergy Spanish, it's a bit more advanced. It actually gets a bit too crazy after lesson 13. I'll review that later, so you'll decide if that's a better program for you to buy than Synergy Spanish or the such. So the pros and cons. First, it's extremely effective. So the drilling that you go through in the program is very fundamental, no BS. And it leads you to be able to make up your own real sentences in the end. Like, let me try to make up a sentence right now. Me gustaría ir visitar a mis amigos después de cenar esta noche. So basically, I think I said I would like to go visit my friends after eating dinner tonight. Something like that. But the main point is that it's a natural sentence, and I didn't have to hesitate that much in order to create such a phrase. And this is what you will be able to do upon completing of the course, or even midway through the course. And the nature of the audio is that you're always on your feet. A lot of audio courses, you know what's coming next, so your brain is sort of numb and you don't really accumulate much information. But since you always have to actively think, the material will sink in way more, will stick to your brain more heavily. The words that you learn are very useful. No stupid words like the cat is blue and sitting on a mountain. Like, you don't learn stupid stuff like that. That's one of the biggest things that other language learning courses uh, don't understand, and that's why I like Synergy Spanish too much, because you don't learn anything that's completely stupid. You get extra written exercises. They also give you mnemonics, so this is basically like a way to make you associate the words with like something you know in English, in order to make you be able to memorize the phrase more easily. It's not really my sort of thing, but if it's really effective, and it'll help you out to even remember the words more easily if you're having trouble with the method that's already given to you through the audio course. The pacing is friendly, so it's not too fast. You're given a lot of time to respond, unlike in learning Spanish like crazy, where sometimes you're only given like 2 seconds to respond to a long sentence. But Synergy Spanish does a great job in giving you tons of time to respond. Yeah, I said there's no gimmicks in this course. Now the cons, they're the obvious cons. Not every language learning course is perfect. You don't learn much vocabulary because you get a bit more than 138 words, because some words he doesn't count, but it's more or less 138, maybe 150. Not a lot of grammar points introduced, so if you want like a super mastery of the language, it's not really going to take you there. There's no transcripts of the lessons. It's a slight disadvantage. Sometimes I like seeing what I'm hearing. And definitely it's not for high intermediate or advanced speakers. So if your Spanish is pretty good right now, this probably isn't the course for you. Now, so should you buy? Now, here's what I think. The product is for you if you meet one of these three characteristics. First, if you struggle to make a complete sentence of natural length in Spanish, then you would definitely gain a lot from this course, because you will gain the fluency aspect. That's what this course does. A lot of courses don't really help you. They just give you a lot of vocabulary, but you'll take a long time saying anything that makes sense. And this course definitely facilitates that. If you are a beginner, it's very friendly for a beginner, because the vocabulary isn't presented super quickly. It's presented pretty slowly and gradually, and you'll have opportunity to build up upon the vocabulary as the course goes on. Or you have studied Spanish in the past, but you can barely function in the language. So if you've taken, I don't know, how many years of Spanish in high school and you find you can't really say anything, this is definitely a great restarter, refresher for you to be able to bring the Spanish you know back to life. Now, this product is not for you if you're looking to vastly expand your vocabulary. The vocabulary it presents you is very important, but if you're looking to expand your vocabulary, you probably know a lot of these words already. So so the next point is, if you're a high intermediate or advanced student, then it's probably too easy for you. Or if you're looking for a traditional approach, I know a lot of language learning students like all that old school stuff, lots of grammar presented and stuff like that, but this isn't the course for that. So the next point is, should you, so if you're still on the fence of whether or not you should buy, give this is a great test to see if you can benefit from the course. Do you see those two sentences here? I need to do something with my friend before I return home tomorrow morning. Or the phrase, do you want to go with me to the party tonight? These are very natural sentences that I can imagine an English speaker saying very easily. Now try to see if you can translate that into Spanish. If you can translate it flawlessly and without hesitation, then this course is probably too easy. However, if you can't translate these sentences at all, or if you hesitate a lot in order to find the words, then give Synergy Spanish a shot. There's a link below, so just click on it and go through their sales page. I think they have around it's either a 30 or 60-day guarantee. So I mean, it's a risk-free try to see if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then you could return it. But if it works for you, then your Spanish journey will just be beginning, and you'll be able to communicate really quickly. Okay, and that wraps it up for this review of Synergy Spanish.